All right. Good evening, Softwave U. It is a special night. We have a top mystery guest that's appearing tonight with us, and it's really my pleasure to introduce Dr. Kale Matovich. He has an illustrious career in healthcare. I can't wait for him to share a little bit about what he's been doing up in the North Country of Calgary. And once again, thank you for all showing up tonight. I'm going to run through a couple little things, and we're going to do it fast, and then give Dr. Matovich a really a great shot to chance to share some of his insight because he's he's killing it, and he's been doing it for decades, and he's going to share with our listeners tonight what's going on. All right, so in the meantime, let me see if I can. Yes, that's sharing, I hope. Tell me if you can see that, Dr. Kale.
We see it. Yep.
Perfect.
Gotcha.
Perfect. So, all right. So here's how it rolls. This is really the blueprint to success. It's what I've done over the last 9 years in my clinic and over a 31 year history in healthcare. So listen, every journey starts with one, right? You got to take that first step. And it's for me, it goes back to a really cool time. It starts with one Softwave patient. I remember my first Softwave patient. He was a billionaire with drop foot at age 60. And this was at his office the day I took it. I took that picture right there. So it starts with one patient. And they become the champion or ambassador in your community that really go spread the word. Wow, this guy's got this non-invasive scalpel. I don't know what it was. It was Star Trekky, right? One clinic that shares their collections and allows us to create a business case study. I remember the first doctor who helped me do that, and it allowed me to track collections and create the Beat the Numbers campaign. If you guys haven't done this, especially for some of our new doctors, it's the 90-day challenge. And basically, if you can generate enough to pay off your device in the first 90 days, you get an additional $1,000 in Software bucks to use wherever. Data's king. What you're going to learn from Dr. Kale tonight is his vital stats on keeping clinics above the black, right? Black Friday's coming up in a little bit. That's where 60% of service industries and retail actually make a profit, right? If they're in the red for 11 and a half months until the last 6 weeks of the year. So you think they're taking vacations? No. Doctors like the predictable patient outcomes. Patients love the near immediate relief. And that's how I have educated and sold over the last 9 years. This is Dr. Adam Church. The guy is a machine. We're going to be having him on our as a guest in the first part of January. And I'm telling you, everybody around him, he's got a great team. He just shows up and everything else is done. It's amazing. So you need to track. You need to look at your new prospects and leads. How many people came in off your ads? How many people accepted care? Again, this sounds like I'm repeating myself every week, but it's the fundamentals. It's blocking and tackling. Um, how well do your ads produce? We got to know, right? What was the cost of acquiring that new patient? For me, when I was doing neuropathy, in 2017, it was $290 to have one neuropathy patient come into my sit in my office. Doesn't even mean they signed up care. So it got too expensive. I can get 10 Softwave patients for what I spent on one neuropathy that didn't even always accept care. You know, I'm always a clinician first and always trying to keep the patient at the forefront, right? If you see me, I use the hashtag for the patient because it's about the patient. It's about getting the results. And, I've never in 31 years in healthcare had a patient say to me, I want more expensive healthcare. It just doesn't happen. So, management by statistics is key to both running a practice and building a referral, like an important referral network. Okay. Now let's see the pioneers. This is one of our first. It was called the 180. I call it the dinosaur, but it's so strong. The pioneers always have difficulty navigating uncharted waters. They face a lot of skepticism. They have to have thick skin. You know, we're not looking to sell to every doctor with a license. We're looking for a few strong, proud doctors willing to take a chance. And the cool thing is, we have 94% customer satisfaction. Our doctors know they're buying a high quality device. We have systems and procedures to recreate that unique experience for the patient. I was talking to a doc today. She's a medical doctor. She's got a beautiful primary care and urgent care, and she's not utilizing this technology. And really, we figured out after a half hour in discussion that she has the wrong technician in the wrong seat running the device. And so she didn't want to put people in pain. She didn't want to have the energy level too high that they were in too much discomfort. So she never got to the bottom line. Listen, in 2017, 18, when I came on with this company, we sold 900 devices in the first 5 years. The last 2.5 years, we sold another 900. So we've basically doubled in half the amount of time. So, you become a master of implementing and being a problem solver. And that's one of the reasons why I have Dr. Kale on tonight. When you scale this to over, 1,500 chiropractors across North America, um, it's something that works. And it's not something that happens overnight. It takes time. I love this slide. This is from Everett Rogers, Professor Everett Rogers. He talks about any new technology and how it is adopted, right? The evolution. It could have been um, the bread toaster. It could have been the first car, right? Um, so you get these early people, these innovators, these pioneers who are willing to risk it and take it. We're at 2% of our profession has software. But if you add up the radial devices and shock waves and this wave and that wave, we're probably getting close to that chasm, okay? Jumping that chasm. We're probably, as a profession, almost, at that point where it really starts becoming very, like every chiropractor wants to have a shockwave. And that was a great perspective from our new CEO, Tom Rhodes, who helped me. You're an elite squad of healthcare providers, and we continue to grow, and your success is our success. How to become that top doctor in your town, the go-to? Well, it's pretty simple. Happy patients refer more. We see our software patients referring almost 4 times more than our chiro patients. And I'll tell you the secret why in a little bit. And this new prospective patient has been to doctor after doctor with no relief. They're skeptical. They don't believe you can help it. And at that mapping discovery session, I always say, listen, Mrs. Smith, I want to make a deal with you tonight. She's like, oh, really? What is that? I mean, you've been to doctor after doctor, and you've been to Emory, you've been to this place. I just want to ask we help you, we just ask that you tell others about this amazing technology and therapy. Oh, I will. My bridge partner is seeing how I'm the guinea pig. All right, good. Well, we're going to find out. They share no problem, whatever. Their partner's waiting to see. They're expecting you to help them. And it's important that they know that you're in their corner fighting for them. I think that's an important part of being a good healthcare provider. You have to look at these 10 key parts. I can send you this slide. It's pretty cool. We are one of the few shockwave companies that has both class one and class two clearance. A lot of these, Hydrowave, OmniWaves, Turkey Wave, they are just registered, right? And they're registering as a massager, not a electro hydraulic extracorporeal device. They're as a massager. They're trying to come in under the radar, but there's nothing about them that is a massager. And if, God forbid, a patient gets injured or gets hurt and they come after you, if your malpractice finds out you're using a device that's off label, it's on you. And they will not support your, claim of malpractice. So this is a little screen. If you're having trouble, it's a QR code. If you're having trouble with your conversions, we talk about it. If you're under 44%, and we're going to hear from Dr. Kale in just a minute, what his centers across Canada and what they're converting at. If you haven't, you can scan that QR code, sign up for a talk. Let's get your house in order and make sure this is generating good income and helping a lot of people. All right, that commercial was brought to you by TradeYourShockwave.com. A lot to talk about, or SellYourShockwave.com. I love this because you have to create compelling offers. The clinic with the best offer wins and the best results. It starts with creating a ad that is triggers that urge to take action. A lot of my ads at first, the first year and a half, were just posting pictures like this without anyone having a number or anything. I didn't know, right? I just thought, oh, I'll put these out there and mainstream media will find me because of all these amazing things we're doing in our clinic. Well, it didn't happen. We want them to click on the button to learn more or make that appointment. Once we get them on the phone, we walk them through the steps and just really how easy it is to get this taken care of. This is Big E. All right. So this is from a really cool doctor, Dr. Rezpar in DC. And he had been on a couple of my webinars. He went a little cheap. He bought a Storz electromagnetic. He had it for 10 months. And then he finally called me. He's like, I'm not getting the results you were. And I'm like, well, what software did you get? He goes, I didn't get software. I'm like, okay, that's your first mistake. And then secondly, he got this electromagnetic. So I said, I'll come up. I'll do 2 hours of, patients, but they all have had to have your Storz first. And then we'll let your patients pick, right? Watch what happens. First treatments, we did both right and left. Your left knee's bad, but your right knee could feel it as well, correct?
Yes,
You've been compensating for that.
yes.
All right, so let's see the first few. Eric, meet your new knees. Let's take some steps. Tell the truth.
I feel a whole lot better.
Really?
Yeah,
You feel it?
yeah.
How come? How do you know? Just in those first couple steps?
Felt it before I even took a step.
You couldn't just moving around the table, you
Just
knew.
moving it in there. That little pain that I remember I told you I feel a little pain. I don't feel that right now.
Compared to the other machine, right? It was half the time.
No, it was a quarter of the time. It was simpler.
Yeah,
I like this one.
yeah.
Gotcha.
You vote that one.
Hey,
Thanks, brother.
this one here.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, you got a good one, bro.
Thank you, Doc. Most patients that we've done today, they want this device as opposed to this one. They've been using this for the last year. They're seeing much better results with less visits. $52,000. That's what he made a mistake on. Okay. Listen, you never know. In God we trust, all others bring data. You never know how treating one person can open up your whole world to taking care of top athletes, A-list celebrities, billionaires. And this is, I'm so thankful. One of my patients I took care of, she was a stunt woman, Corinne. Shout out to Corinne. We helped her after she had a bad motorcycle accident that left her with a limp. And she looks just like Angelina Jolie. She was like Jolie's stunt woman and a lot of stuff. But she wasn't able to work for several months because of this injury. And we got her back. And she was filming at Tyler Perry's studio down here in Atlanta. And he was walking around with a cane. This a couple of years ago. And she went up to him and she goes, I got a doctor for you. And this is what you want. You want people to talk nicely about you when you're not in the room. And he said, well, what is it? I have to get surgery. The Atlanta Hawks orthopedic said I got a meniscus tear and I got to get surgery after Thanksgiving. So the next day, he ends up calling me, leaving me a message like, "Hey, Tyler Perry here. Hit me on my cell when you're free." We did several sessions over 4 weeks. He avoided surgery, and he couldn't wait to tell the world. He's told his agent, he's told his other friends. They've purchased, they bought. We're in the UFC, WWE because of just that one person. So become a new patient magnet, right? Be that clinic. And it works, right? You feed a man a fish, you feed him for one night. The training day, and we had one of the most successful training days at Dr. Kale Matovich's, and he'll tell you about that. I still remember the numbers. That's where we start the whole process. We teach you how to fish and how to fillet it up and feed your family. So you're teaching this clinic how to fish for life. The real money is in the treatments. This is, oh God, Kimberly and David Erb, great. They have two devices. It's really a launch, right, for your patients and your community. Show how effective this is. 3 to 5 minute non-invasive treatments, um, little to low side effects. We collect between $4,000 and $8,000 in that first 4 hour shift. So who else that could benefit from this after at that training day? We're dropping seeds. Dr. Herb, Dr. Kim, and Dr. David have sent us a dozen maximize living clients to add this to their um, capture great data. These are just some of them. They're quick.
Okay.
This is at Syracuse University.
But and what do you think? So much better. Really? No, it actually does good. You weren't even gonna get a treatment. You just came in to give support to Sophie. Yeah, that's just so good. All right, do a little yes. You can help us, you two can help us bring this to Australia.
Yeah, that'll be my goal.
Thank you.
That's her goal too. I love it. Now this is Luke. They're all three from Australia and play for Syracuse University.
All right, Luke. You just did it. Luke from down under. Move around. I come from a land down under. Women all. All right, bounce around, jump around. Tell me. 6'4".
That's ridiculous.
What's that?
It's
What did you
ridiculous.
say? The relief?
Yeah, that's crazy.
6'4", full of muscle. Yeah, at first you're kind of spreading the gel, and then keep that pressure. How's that pressure feel?
Feels great.
Do your little hop skip.
This has over 640,000 views.
What's the pain level like now?
Like a foil.
Yeah, so almost cut it in half, and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
That's one session. Thank you, Matt.
So, I mean, you've got to be ready. If someone limps into your clinic or can't walk up and down the steps, it's important. Do you know this guy? Yeah. Content is king, right? I want to teach these doctors how to get great results, but I also want to document them and create video case studies, right? And we actually will create these and put them with their work, with their PI claims and send them in with bills. We've sent them in for insurance claims as well for people who had asked, like, can you show the before and after videos? Can I send them? Sure. Create awareness, right? These are what patients say. Dr. Dan, how did you do with the soft wave in the first week? We did 19,200. That's phenomenal. It's a way to get your team 100% re-engaged and a great way to finish the year strong. This is this is amazing. I love it. And this is really our breakdown of where we have all of our patients. I mean, all of our doctors. I mean, California leading the way with 198, 146 in Texas, 121 in Georgia, 83 in New York. Florida's a big number as well. But, this is really what we wanted to share with you guys. Together we go farther, right? Rising tides raise all ships. I can teach you, you guys know this much. and I can teach you to get to this level. And then Dr. Kale comes in and he teaches us, and then we all rise. Okay. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing and we're going to give my buddy right here, Dr. Kale Matovich, you get the floor. Please tell us a little bit about yourself. And then I know you might want to share some screens and tell us how you coach hundreds of doctors. Go ahead.
Yes, I will. So maybe I'll start just by sharing that you talked about our training day, and that was it was only just 2 years ago, or even under that. And now I saw 20 up there for Canada, and there's going to be 9 of those that are ours. So it's growing fast. So I'll share that story a little bit, and then I'll talk a little bit about some goal setting. Sorry, I had a bit of a frog in my throat. One second.
The cool thing about this is everybody accepts this at some point. I knew Cal would be a game changer if I could get him on Softwave. It took me 18 months of calls.
Yes.
I was persistent and I did not, I knew you had a great opportunity with 1.2 million people in Calgary. We go up there, we set this up. He schedules 30 people. Go ahead, tell him the story.
So, well, I'm going to start before that. So we had, I was resistant to adding modalities into my practice for years. I knew about software for 5 or 6 years before we added it in. I was resistant. We have a big chiropractic practice. We do, I'll share a couple numbers just because I'm going to be speaking into some numbers, and I'm going to ask permission to have a business conversation because we have, Dr. Matt, you talked a lot about the clinical benefits of Softwave. Are all of the folks on this call current users of Softwave? Okay. So we all then know the clinical benefit of Softwave. We see it in our practice every day. We know the great things that it does for patients. So I'm going to ask your permission to just have a business conversation now. That benefit to the patient is the table stakes. It's what gets us in the game. And now I want to talk about how you can reach more people, how you can impact your communities in a bigger way, how you can have an impact on your business that creates a win-win, win for you, win for the patients, win for your practice. And I think that's very possible. So I was reluctant to add Softwave. Dr. Matt worked on me. We added Softwave into the practice. We finally decided. I had clients as a coach. I had clients that they were seeing great benefits. And once I really got to learn what Softwave did, that it was enhancing the body's own innate healing process, that was congruent for me. It was philosophically congruent. So we added it in. And I think we had a 98% conversion on our launch day. So we had a 20.
By the way, you went the first day, we had 14 of 15 sign up.
Yeah.
I go home. The rest of the week, they sign up 15 of 15, right? So
Yes.
they did better when I left.
That wasn't your fault. So we had a great start. We had a great start, great impact on our business, great impact on our community, lots of referrals from those people, all the things that I know everyone on this call has seen. So that was great. And I've got such a heart now to get this technology out in our country that we started a business to bring this to people where we do everything that doctors don't love doing. We handle all the marketing, we handle all of the systems, the procedures. We bring the machine, we parachute in, and we add it to people's practices here in Canada. And that's how we're growing it. And we've done that in the space of a year. I have a practice that does north of $2 million a year in chiropractic revenue pre-Softwave. We did $750,000 in Softwave our first year. And now we've got, come February, we'll have 7 additional vitalized tissue regeneration sites. So that's happened fast. And that isn't possible without really, really solid systems. And that's what I want to speak into for you guys tonight, which is in the context of where we're at in the year, right? It's November 19th. We're approaching the end of the year. And I want to speak into how you guys can get set for next year to have the best year you've ever had. It takes systems. And the first thing we have to know with a system is that you cannot manage what you don't measure. So capturing your statistics, your metrics is very, very important. And this is a blind spot, I think, for a lot of doctors, very successful doctors. It was a blind spot for me for a long time. in my career. But once I figured it out, once I slayed this dragon, it just opened everything up. We were able to achieve success that we couldn't before because we didn't know what to manage, what to measure, what levers to pull. And that's what I want to speak about tonight. So the first thing that we need to do when we approach this time of the year is figure out how do we keep our teams and ourselves from kind of going on cruise control in this last 6 weeks of the year. And I'd say the most important thing we could do to prevent that is to future pace and start to goal set for next year. And the way we do that is we look back at what we've achieved this year. We have to set intelligent goals. I can't see you guys, but I want you to virtually hold up your hands if, like me, when you set goals, in the past, I used to do this, you just kind of pull them out of your butt. Like, what would be nice to achieve, right? I'm going to set a goal. It's kind of what I'd like to achieve. If I'm confident every hand is up because we've all done that at some point. And I'll tell you that those goals are hard to achieve. We have to set intelligent goals that are based on data. And so we have to know our stats. We have to know our metrics. And we use a system called vital signs. I'm going to share that with you guys right now, I think.
I'll tell you when we can see it.
Okay. I got a bit of a slow computer here. Stand by.
Understand. Oh, we see it. It's coming.
Yeah, I live out in the country. It's slow for some reason.
There it is.
System is not working fast for me.
We can see ROF month, year.
So I just want to give you guys a bit of a flavor for the type of metrics that we're capturing. So this, if you'll notice, is called day to week, daily to weekly. So we've got day 1, day 2, day 3, each day of the week across the top. And this is how nuanced we are with our metrics. So we look at all of our new patients, where they came from, inside, outside, digital. We look at the reports that we had. We then measure, did we give a recommendation or did we not? If we did, who said yes, who said no, who's outstanding? And then we give a recommendation for a certain period of time. And we want to know what percentage of the people get to the end of that period of time. Once we've given a recommendation, who follows through? And that's called the stick rate. And most times what we do in chiropractic, we measure retention via a metric called PVA. I'm sure you guys have heard of PVA, right? How many patients the average patient has. It's a mathematical measurement. It's a very, very blunt measurement. It doesn't really help us a lot in terms of where we need to focus the attention and energy of our team. And ultimately, docs, that is our job as the leaders of our business, is to focus the energy and attention of our team on the things that need to happen, most importantly, to move our business towards its goals. Now, buried within what I just said is something very important. You have to have goals. We have to have clearly articulated goals. We have to know where we want to go. We have to have that vision. We have to be able to cast that vision for our team. So we, as the leaders of the business, are vision casters, right? We have to be the ones to cast the vision. And to do that, we have to have clear goals. And I'm going to talk about how you can set that for next year. I want to give you just an example of the fodder we use to set goals. So we make specific goals around, for most doctors, I'll just tell you, the stick rate is one of the most meaningful levers they can pull. The number of people that start, what percentage get to the end of that care recommendation. And there's certain things we do and our teams do downstream that affect our stick rate. How well educated a patient is, what our day-to-day table talk is in education. Do we do a workshop if we do that kind of thing? Those are very important. And are we converting to retain? So particularly in the realm of SoftWave, when I speak about converting to retain, I want to teach people at the beginning of their care about the phases of care they're going to go through. They're going to go through a phase of activation over the first 4 weeks. That's where we're activating the healing process. We sometimes get a curse of knowledge that we've got magic in that wand that we're holding, right? Or that our tech is holding. And that can come through to our patient. It's important that we give them that hope and that positive expectation, but at the same time, we frame for them the duration of time it takes to fully heal. And that's what the phases of care does. And that's what allows us to convert to retain. So one of the things that I find most helpful in our practice is measuring what percentage of our patients go on to doing maintenance with SoftWave. And that isn't obviously a patient that doesn't need it. But if someone has a terribly degenerative knee and they have a great outcome, we know they still have those changes, those structural changes in their body. And they're going to benefit from periodic boosters to keep the dam of stem cells and healing cells flowing towards that tissue. We know they're going to benefit from that. So I want to measure what percentage of people that it's appropriate for move into that stage. So we go through the activation stage, the regeneration stage, and then ultimately a maintenance phase for some people. And we want to measure all that so that we can actually think about how we pull those levers. So in our system, we have our new patient, our conversion, our stick rate, another conversion, and a stick rate. And we can follow that along all the way through. And I had a shift of adjusting this morning. I adjust 2.5 days a week still. And I had a shift of adjusting, and I saw probably 6 patients that I've known for 25 years. And I had those people on my shift this morning because we take this vision to our practice. Right. And so having these systems in place is just absolutely critical. Let's talk goals.
I'm just quick question.
Yeah, go.
What are you finding? What's a good conversion number? I've been telling them it's got to be above 44 to 70 is a good range for SoftWave.
Yeah.
And then what is your conversion to maintenance? I know what our number is. I'd love to see where you're at, and I'll share mine in just a minute.
Okay. So I can share our conversion rate in our practice and then in our centers that we've opened. Our day one conversion, our discovery day conversion, depending on the lead. So if we amalgamate and look in the aggregate, we're about 75%. Digital is kind of high 60s to 70. Internal, where people know, like, and trust you already, it's 90% plus. And then in terms of conversion to the maintenance phase, or to boosters, that's the term we use. We're reclaiming the term. The way we measure that stat is we first parse out who we think it's appropriate to make that recommendation for. So we take the people that are not appropriate, someone who had stress fractures in their foot, they're healed. We high five them, their history, they come back next time they have a problem as it relates to SoftWave. But the people that it is appropriate for maintenance, I would say our conversion is 80% plus.
Wow. And that's where I need help. And that's why Cal is my coach. I'm at 15% on that. So that number needs to expand. And we're throwing everybody in the pot, but I like what you do. As well as looking at digital leads are not going to convert as well as a third-party endorsement from a champion ambassador in your clinic, right?
For sure.
And that's why when we do the training days, we have almost a 90% conversion because they already have been with you for 20, 25 years. They already respect and trust you. It's not because I came in there, some, fast talking Italian from New York.
They all loved you when you came to our office, though. They loved you. So when we speak about goal setting, by the way, Matt, what time do we have until?
You're good for another 10, 15 minutes, whatever you need.
Okay, I'll rock. So when we think about goal setting, the first place to start is to get a clear vision of where we want to go. And we have to start with where we are at right now. And when you see now, what I mean is like the brutal facts of now. What is the brutal truth? There's no value judgment on it. We shouldn't apply that. It's just what's the brutal facts? Then we know where we can go next. And in the context of goal setting, we can look at our previous year's performance. And that's a great place to be the foundation for our goals. So I talked about intelligent goal setting at the beginning of this conversation. And intelligent goal setting would involve thinking about base case, best case, and worst case scenario so that we can plan for those things. The base case scenario would be your last year's performance relative to the year before. So let's say 2024, you had a $1 million revenue. And in 2025, you end up with 1.2. That's a 20% growth. Your base case would be that level of growth. You know you can do it. You might have to shift and change. You will have to change some things in order to do it, but you know you can do it. So 20% is the base case. And then we're going to set a best case. So if we do this, if we do that, what are the things we're going to shift and change that can impact our performance? Here's the best case. Maybe it's 25% or 30%. 20% is pretty aggressive growth. So maybe it's 25% as a best case. I've had practices that I coach that double in a year. That's not common, but it's possible. 25, 30, 40% growth is significant. And then we think about the worst case, right? We all know that we make a plan, God laughs, and things happen, right? Things happen. So we have to have some contingency plans in place. So I'll ask you just to think about this in this context. What did we do last year? Where are we headed next year? If you have clarity of vision that in the end of December 2026, our business is doing this, the impact we're having on the community is X, that's what I feel will be successful. That's what I want. You clarify it, speak it into the universe, and then cast the vision for your team for how you're going to get there. Now, next and ultimate. When we think about ultimate goal setting, that's a 3 to 5 year kind of a plan. What does this look like in 3 years? What does it have to look like 12 months from now in order to be on track to get there? And where are we now? And what are the measurables, the KPIs that I spoke about? And you can get visibility into your practice. I'll circle back to this in a moment. You can get visibility, into your practice by looking at a tool like this. I'll say this now, if you guys are interested in this and you want me to share this tool with you, shoot me an email, drkale@vitalizeregeneration.com. The accountability grid is the best tool to look into every element of your business. I will argue pretty much anybody that every component of their business lives on this grid. So across the top, we've got all the domains of our practice. We've got attraction. Where are the people coming from? Internal, external, and digital. We've got conversion. What's our conversion process? This is our chiropractic conversion process. It's a 2-day process with a third day for training our patients how to be great patients. Then we've got retention. What is it that we're doing to retain? How are we educating our patients? What is the care that we're providing? What are our reassessments, reevaluations, re-recommendations? What do those look like? And then team building. How do we build the team that can support the business that we have envisioned and we want to have grow? We need a team. So as the leaders of our business, we have to become the vision casters, and we develop the team. We're the developer of the team, and the team builds the business. So we have to build our team, they build the practice. And then the finances of our business, and all those things need to be healthy. So when we go through this, I do this every quarter with my team. It takes 10 minutes. We go through it and we grade ourselves in every one of these domains, 0 to 10. Where are we? If we're a 8, 9, or 10, we're going to hit our goals. If we're a 6, or if we're a 9 or 10, we're hitting our goals. For 6, 7, or 8, we can hit the goals, but we better shift a thing or two. If we're below a 5 or below, we're not going to hit the goals, or we're doing this in a way that's actually counterproductive to our performance. And this tool, I would say, is my favorite tool for accountability for ourselves as leaders and for the team. And it helps us know where we need to spend our time, energy, and frankly, sometimes money to build our business. One of the things that we sometimes have a sense of when we look at this is that it's linear, and it's not linear. It's going to be all over the place. It's why we do it every quarter. So when I first did this, as I said earlier, the low-hanging fruit for our practice was the stick rate. We make a recommendation, we go through a conversion process, we make a recommendation, what percentage of people get to the end of that? That was an area where we had a lower number than what we want. We want that at 80% as a minimum. It was lower. So we directed the energy of our team to all of the activities that would affect that, all the activities that would influence that. The person at our front desk was directed to make sure that people were pre-scheduled, that we had solid payment options in place, all the things that would drive retention. Our docs were all directed to educate at the table more appropriately. We implemented a workshop at that time. This was years ago. All the things that will drive that retention. Now, guess what we did? We fixed that number. So now we've got a whole bunch of people still in our business. Our total active patients, the number of people that we actively take care of, grows. What do you think happens to our schedule? Gets full. Now we've got another problem over here on attraction. We don't have room to fit the people in, right? So we need to find a way to fit people into the schedule. And a new patient can't get in quickly, or they get in and then the report is a week later, and we create all kinds of other problems. So I never want to fool people into thinking that you can solve all your problems. You're just going to upgrade the quality of your problems. There's no solving the problems. We're just upgrading the quality. Now, when we think about goal setting, I just want you to simplify this. Our business is so much simpler than we sometimes think. You know, I don't know if you guys are like this, but I am. There's days in practice where I feel like, oh my gosh, like there's 10,000 problems. There's not 10,000 problems in our business. There's 6 problems that can happen in our business. They just manifest in 10,000 different ways. We've either got a vision problem. We don't have clarity of vision. We're not totally clear on where we're going. We have a leadership problem. We're not casting the vision for our team. We're not leading them properly. We have a people problem. We don't have A players on the team. We've got staff infections. We have a systems problem. So we have people that maybe don't know how to do what we're asking them to do. We need systems in place. We have a training problem. We aren't actually practicing those systems and training in a way that supports our team. Or we have an energy problem. And almost every problem, I will argue, you can distill down to one or more of those issues. And same with goal setting. Set your goals in attraction, in conversion, in retention, and in the money realm of our practice. Very simply, pick the KPIs that are going to move the lever for you and your business to get you to the goals that you want for next year. And you're going to have more success than you had last year, that's for sure. Good. I'm done. Just in time.
Amazing.
Questions?
And again, this is coming from a gentleman who has built it and people have come. And he said the number. I mean, you are seeing, you have such a well-oiled machine, and I had to come train you because tell him how many numbers you see per week as for just chiropractic and physio.
In our practice right now, we see about 800 a week.
Amazing. Not all you. You have a wonderful
No.
team. I mean,
Yeah,
you
no.
show up. That was the best thing about it. You show up and you do the least amount of work.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of things going on in the office that I don't know how to do very well, but I have built a team that knows how.
Um, Kale, I can't thank you enough. I say it often. I learn more from my guests on this webinar, and I know, our doctors are very grateful that you take time away from your family. Please give your wife and lovely daughter a hug from us.
I
And we're
will.
so excited. We have Thanksgiving next week here, next Thursday. So we may take Wednesday off. We also are going to have James Chester on, who is just a machine. He's done maybe one of the strongest screeners in the history of chiropractic, but also, host of Chiro Hustle and has done over like 850 shows. He's going to share some of his key elements. Kale, thank you so much. And
Pleasure.
I look forward to watching you grow. Remind them again, you have your main office in Calgary, and tell them what you've done with your vitalistic approach.
Yeah, so we created a business in Canada where we are expanding Softwave throughout Western Canada. So we built a marketing program. We built the system. I sort of alluded to some of the elements of our system today. And we parachute a parallel business into an existing practice. We bring the Softwave technology into their business, and we share revenue with them in a way that I think is very fair. They've been very happy with it. So have we. And we get to spread this technology, have a big impact on their communities, and we're changing the lives of these doctors because they're generating revenue that's significantly different than they were before. And I didn't anticipate this, but we have a ton of interest in the States too. So we're going to be doing some things there too.
We need it. And the coolest thing is he had a clinic start just a couple months ago, and they already hit 40,000 in collections just for SoftWave. Is that correct? This
That's correct. Yeah, that was, yeah, they're
started in August.
yeah.
September, October, they're hitting some amazing numbers, on pace to do 480,000 in
Yeah.
the first year. That would be great. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I'll see you guys in the next 2 weeks. And very grateful for everyone's participation.